In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه من السنة بسنة يوم الدين أما بعد. Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. Welcome to the Reword series in Why Islam. I'm your host Imam Jawad Ahmed, and today we'll be talking about how to find a spouse. One of the major problem or issues or challenge for a new Muslim is to get married, and a lot of reverts face this challenge and this issue because they're after converting, their circle of friends shrinks to a small amount. And the other thing is that the legal requirements in the Islamic values prohibit a revert or new Muslim from dating or flirting or having a girlfriend, having a boyfriend, going out, meeting people. So because those old ways, the Jahiliyyah days, the ignorant days, those old ways cannot be adopted in Islam, so it becomes a huge challenge for new Muslims to find a spouse. Of course, there are many ways to facilitate this and make it easier. First thing that we need to understand before we look for a spouse is the issue of mahram and non-mahram. The word mahram means those people who you cannot marry. For example, your mother, you cannot marry, your sister, your daughter. Likewise, for a female, it is your father, your brother, your son. These are the close blood ties, blood relatives, which are known as mahram. The reason I'm explaining this word or terminology mahram is because in the Muslim world, usually it is the mahram that is looking out for a suitable spouse for you as an individual. So it's usually the father or the brother or the uncle or some male relative that is looking out and finding a suitable spouse, and then they introduce to their sister or daughter or any aspect of that relative that, this is a person that I think, and you can, investigate and find out further. Since a person converts, and especially for sisters, the mahram is not there because obviously the father is not Muslim, so wouldn't follow the traditional values of Islam, and therefore the brother is not Muslim, so they would not. So chances are that a female, Muslimah, she has no support from the relatives or immediate extended relatives to help in a Muslim marriage. And therefore non-mahram, the word non-mahram means someone who is not your mahram. And non-mahram is someone who you can marry. So your cousins are, the Quran talks in detail about this issue of mahram and non-mahram, who you can marry, who you cannot marry. In chapter 4, chapter Nisa, in that chapter, Allah talks in detail around verse 26, 27 in that area. Now, the issue here as a new Muslim is that both as a female and as a male, how should we search for a spouse? Where should we go? The best place is the masjid, the mosque. Informing the imam of the mosque that I'm looking for a spouse. If you know somebody, if you know someone, just have a lookout and let me know. For females, there's another issue, and that is a wali. Wali is like a guardian. Usually it's the father or the brother or the uncle of the person. But in this case, because they are not Muslim, the father, uncle, brother, so therefore they can't be the wali. And therefore usually the imam or another Muslim brother whose wife is friends with the revert sister can also act on the behalf as a wali. So that they can facilitate the marriage. The purpose of wali or guardian is to look out for the interests of the sister, the female revert, her interests, and make sure that she is not exploited, she's not taken advantage of in a marriage proposal, because usually it happens that males try to be slick and smart and shrewd and try to play games, so therefore the wali is there to protect and preserve the female sister, in Islam, the revert sister, to make sure she does not get oppressed in the marriage proposal process. As for a male revert, a brother Muslim, they don't need a wali. The concept of wali is only for females, because the concept, the wisdom the Quran gives us is that females usually get exploited by the males. It's very, very rare and seldom the other way around that a female exploit a male. And a male can look after their interests and protect and know that what can be potential dangers. So that's why in Islam, a male does not need a wali. A male can directly go and propose for the marriage. Whereas for a female, the wali has to propose or accept the proposal in a marriage situation. So the man who is intending to marry a woman would not go directly up to the woman and say, "Would you marry me?" It's not like those dramatic things in America that you have somebody kneeling down and presenting a ring. Rather, the Islamic way, the Islamic adab, etiquettes and manner is that if a man wants to marry a woman, he would go to his wali, his guardian, which in the Muslim world is usually the father or the uncle or the brother. But for a female revert sister, it would be the imam or whoever she has appointed as her wali. Then the male would go there and ask the wali that I want to marry so and so in this individual. And the wali would then facilitate a meeting. It is allowed to meet together face to face to talk and chit chat, but dating is not allowed. Dating means that going out to the restaurant, to the movies, to the park, spending time together in seclusion, alone. That is haram, forbidden in Islam, as I explained in my previous video in gender interactions, that whenever there is one male and one female unrelated to each other, non-mahram, and the third of them is Satan, and Satan would then whisper in their mind and pollute them into doing a sin. So therefore, in the presence of people in a room, proposal people can be people who are thinking of a proposal can talk to each other. Islam does not forbid from seeing each other or meeting each other, but yes, that meeting or seeing should be limited to just one or maybe two at the max, and also in a guided format, that the conversation does not deviate into a kind of an intimate conversation or something that can be constituted as flirting. Rather, that meeting and that conversation is strictly business, professional, in terms of understanding each other, knowing each other's likes and dislikes and habits, in order to determine if this person is suitable for marriage or not. So these are the steps and ways. The other way can be is that the revert sister or revert brother, whoever their friends are who are married, they can tell them that, brother or sister, I'm looking for marriage, can you help me? So those married couples can then go out and help and find out within the community who would be suitable. And their purpose would be just matchmaking, meaning that this person is interested in getting married, here's another person who's interested in getting married. You facilitate the meeting, they meet each other. If they like each other, then it's fine. They can proceed further with the imam and the process of marriage. If they don't, then they stop meeting each other, and like we said, there is no dating in that perspective. Usually the married couple who are friends with their brother or sister, the revert brother or sister, they would know what kind of personality this person is and what kind of a suitable wife they're looking for. Their values, their benchmarks. So that is how they would go out there and literally hunt someone that would fit on that personality criteria or paradigm that the revert brother or sister has informed. And that is how the marriage process in Islam further propagates through the masjid being the center place of community, of networking, of brotherhood and sisterhood, so that person can interact with each other. Jazakallah khairan, and I hope that the people who are willing to get married, that Allah finds them a suitable spouse. Don't forget to make lots and lots of dua, pray tahajjud, pray 2 rak'ah nafil, 2 units of prayer in the middle of the night, like 3 or 4 in the morning, asking Allah, begging Allah that, oh Allah, help me find a suitable spouse, because no one can help us find a spouse except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wassalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.